सर्वाणि सर्वाणि यद्यत्कर्म करोमि तत्तदखिलं शम्भो तवाराधनं शम्भो तवाराधनं. We appeal to the Divine Lord for forgiveness in the mantra Vijayavati chant. It is a prayer of forgiveness. Om Kamacharam Kritam Va Kayajam Karmajam Va Shalinayam Jam Va Manasam Va Parayam Vitam Va Hitam Va Sarvavedasham Sa Jai Jai Karunamurti Shri Mahadeva Shambho Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Dhani Sa Dhani Sa Rama Brahmamurari Surachitale Brahmamurari Janamagadu Kavinashak Lingam Atranamami Sada Shivalingam Brahmamurari Surachitalingam Niramalabhajita Shobhitalingam Devamuni Pravararchitalingam Ravanadharapavinasakalingam Tatpranamami Sada Shivalingam Brahmamurari Surachitalingam Niramalabhajita Shobhitalingam Sarvasugandhitulephitalingam Vandhitalingam Tatpranamami Sada Shivalingam Brahmamurari Surachitalingam Niramalabhajita Shobhitalingam Kanakamahamani Bhushitalingam Rajasuyaja Vinasanalingam Tatpranamami Sada Shivalingam Brahmamurari Surachitalingam Niramalabhajita Shobhitalingam Kumkumachandanalephitalingam पाप विनाशनलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
ब्रह्ममुरारि
सुराजितलिङ्गं निर्मलभाषितशोभितलिङ्गं
देवगणार्चितसेवितलिङ्गम् दिनकरकोटि प्रभाकरलिङ्गं
प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
ब्रह्ममुरारि
सुराजितलिङ्गं निर्मलभाषितशोभितलिङ्गं
अक्षतलोपरि प्रेषितलिङ्गम् अक्षदरिद्रविनाशकलिङ्गम्
प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
ब्रह्ममुरारि
सुराजितलिङ्गं निर्मलभाषितशोभितलिङ्गं
गुरु चुरुवर पूजितलिङ्गम्
सुरवनपुष्पसदाशिवलिङ्गं
परात्परं परमात्मकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
ब्रह्ममुरारि सुरार्चितलिङ्गम् निर्मलवाञ्छितशोभितलिङ्गं निर्मलवाञ्छितशोभितलिङ्गम् प्रेम से उमापति महादेव की जय. We continue to focus our minds upon the Divine Lord Krishna. continuing in our presentations from our young, budding and pundits in training, this morning we present to you another young man who comes from a lineage of pundits in Guyana and who is already practicing to some degree and a very good exponent of lectures already in Guyana. Today he is with us, and he's always been with us in this mandir for the last 3 or 4 years. He's my Sishya. He's Dinesh Dhanraj, and he'll be presenting to us this morning a brief subject for the next 5 to 10 minutes on a subject that he will tell you about. I ask you to give him your attention, please.
Before we begin, please join me in a brief prayer. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Saraswatyebhyo Namo. चरण शरण में आई है दरो तिहारी ध्यान संकट ते रक्षा करो पवन पुत्र हनुमान दुर्गम काज बनाई के हे भक्त निहार अब मोरी बिनती सुनो हे अंजनी के लाल हाथ जोड़ बिनती करूं सुनो वीर हनुमान कष्टों से रक्षा करो राम भक्त देहु राम भक्त देहु सर्वे देवेभ्यो गुरुभ्यो भ्यो नमो नमः. Devotees, this morning it is indeed my privilege and great honor to present to you a very brief presentation on the subject I have chosen is Bhakti. Now, I'm sure if I ask everyone here in this audience today, what is the definition of Bhakti, we will get all sorts of answers. But there is no doubt in any of our minds that we think that we are all devotees of Bhagwan. And we all think that we have, to some degree, Bhakti. This morning, I would like to start off by bringing to you a verse from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan Krishna highlights the importance of Bhakti. He says to Arjun, Arjun, nothing is more important to Bhakti. And we underestimate the power of devotion. He tells us, Api chet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhav sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi sa. He says, it doesn't matter what kind of person you are. It doesn't matter how low, how despicable you are, whatever acts you may have committed in your life. Bhagavan Krishna says, that devotee who comes to me and he prays to me with bhakti in his heart, I accept even him. Earlier this morning we sang this bhajan, Ram patit pavan karuna kar aur sada sukh data. Prabhu Sri Ram, he said he came into this world, and who did he come for? Patit pavan. He came for those of us who have fallen. Whenever we come to mandir, whatever we may bring, patram, pushpam, palam, Bhagavan says, when you offer it to me, do so with love. This morning, many of you brought apples for Hanumanji. Many more of you brought bananas and all sorts of things. I ask you the question this morning, how do you know when you offer these things to Bhagavan, how do you know that He accepts them? Let me ask one person in the audience. Anyone? Someone raise their hand, please. How do you know that Bhagavan accepts your offering? Say again. Open up your heart. Pure heart. Devotees, is there any amongst us here who can say that we are not sinners? In the Bible, Christ said, "Let he who is without sin cast the first." When we go to Bhagawan and we offer anything to him, we must say, "Prabhu, papoham papakarmaham papatmat papishambhuam trahi mam pundarikaksham sarva papaharu." Prabhu, I am a sinner, main papi hu. We are all sinners, yet still Bhagawan, you are so gracious, you accept whatever I give you. And furthermore, mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janarinam yat pujitam maya devam paripuram tarastami. None of us here know everything. Even the Pandits cannot say that they know all the Vedas, all the prayers. Bhagawan, we do not know the proper mantras, the proper prayers. Yet still, Prabhu, I am offering whatever I brought for you. And I will tell you the secret this morning to how you can know when Bhagawan accepts your offering. There is a beautiful chaupai in our mind that says, Mam guna gavak gunaka sharira. Prabhu Sri Ram says that when you offer anything to me, the devotee experiences a thrill running through their spine. Their eyes, tears come to their eyes. They cannot speak because they become very much emotional and very choked. Their hands, when they're offering whatever flowers and fruits, their hands begin to tremble as they place it down next to me. When you experience such an emotion, then devotees, that is when you know that Bhagawan has accepted whatever you're offering to him. There is one of the most famous devotees in the Srimad Ramcharitmanas, Sevari. We all know who is Sevari. Sevari was waiting for Prabhu Sri Ram to come and see her on the advice of her guru. And she was a very old woman by that time, and she considered herself not to be very, very high-born. And yet still Prabhu Sri Ram came to see her. And when he did so, she was so lost for words. She told him, Bhagawan, I am the lowest of the low. I am nothing in this world. I do not have any learning. I do not have any redeemable qualities. Yet still, Prabhu, you have come to see me here today. And let us see what Prabhu Sri Ram tells her in this chaupai. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram,
Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
रघुपति सुनु बामिनी बाता मनहु एक भक्ति करना था श्री राम जय राम
जय जय रामा श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा
जाति पाति कुल धर्म बराई धन बलि परिजन गुण चतुराई श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा
श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा
दर्शन दो प्रभु राम नाथ मोरी अखियाँ प्यासी रे दर्शन दो प्रभु राम दर्शन दो प्रभु राम. Prabhu Sri Ram says to Sevari, he says, I do not care about caste, I do not care about wealth, power, ability, influence. contacts, beauty, knowledge, none of these things matter to me. When the devotee comes to me and their heart is filled with bhakti, the only thing that matters to me is their vishwas, their faith, their devotion. Unsavory, she was the embodiment of devotion. She loved Prabhu Sri Ram so much, the bhajan tells us, Jute pal sevari se kaan, bahu vidhi prem. She tasted the fruits before she gave them to Prabhu Sri Ram. These fruits were jute, and yet still Prabhu Sri Ram. He enjoyed this prasad like no other. Why? Because savory was filled with bhakti. Devotees, this morning, as I want to wrap up, the message I would like to leave with you is that nothing in this world is impossible once you have devotion. Even if you have nothing else, forget about whatever karma you may have committed in your past life, in this life. Once you have bhakti, the Lord will accept you with open arms. This is one of the fundamental differences with Hinduism and other religions. We do not believe that there is any such thing as eternal damnation. We believe that no matter whatever you do, Prabhu Sri Ram is waiting for you on the other side. All you have to do is give yourself the chance. Devotees, this morning, I want to thank you for listening. And I want to thank our Guruji, Pandit Rupnath Sharma, for facilitating this. And I hope that whatever I have said has helped you and made a little bit of sense. Hari Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
प्रेम से सीतापति रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. As we continue in our journey of devotion, of bhakti, each and every one of us seek different answers in life. Our young Pandit talked about savory. Her devotion, her bhakti is the classic within the holy pages of Ramcharitmanas. And when she declared to this Lord, as Panditji Dinesh has said, that that Maya Dham Adham Adhamati Nari, that I am the lowest of the lowest, my Lord. But the Lord, as he pointed out, does not look upon our attire, our external selves. He looks at what is within us, what is in our mind. How do we see the world? How do we see each other? And then, of course, Bhagavan declared to her, Manava Eka Bhakti Karanata, that there's only one relationship between me and my devotee, and the bond, Manava Ek Bhakti Karanata, that is only our devotion that binds us to God. Not our wealth, not our earthly possessions. Prem so Sitapati Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. In our discussions over the last few weeks, we talked about how we develop ourselves and we evolve every day of our lives. And the evolution has three parts, three types of evolution. That as we evolve, definitely we are getting old. So our physical evolution, that is our physical health, is important. That we have to maintain this physical state of health. Then we have our mental state, our mental health, another evolution. And then there's a third. Anybody want to guess what the third? We have our physical, we have our mental. What's the third? Spiritual. Our spiritual. So this spiritual evolution also has to occur. If we do everything to make sure that we are healthy physically, we eat the right food, we sleep at the right time, we do some exercise, maintain the physical state. Then what do we do to maintain the mental state, the mental health? We take Valium. Do we take antidepressant? What do we take? What do we do to help us to maintain? We know what we do to maintain the physical health. What do we do to maintain the mental health? Anybody? Spirituality. What is that? Huh? Sing bhajans. Meditate. So we meditate, we sing bhajan. What else can we do? Think positive and don't talk bad about others. What else?
Pray.
Pray. But who said pray? Put your hands up, pray. Now, we have prayers that some of us pray and we are kind of complaining to God. God, life is tough. My children are not treating me good. I'm stressed out. Is that the kind of prayer I'm talking about? What kind of prayer am I talking about? What are my prayers? What do I say in my prayers to God? Thank you, God, for the sickness that I have.
Forgive me for any errors I've made. Forgive me for any errors I've made.
Forgive me for any errors that I've made. My prayer for forgiveness, right? What else do we pray to God for? We thank Him, right? Yes. What else?
Mercy.
For mercy. Have compassion. What else? Show me the right path. Thank God all the time.
For the life I have. For the life she has.
Oh, thank you. श्वास से श्वास प्रभु का नाम स्मरण करेंगे. Thank you, God, for this life that I have. Because without it, I cannot relate to you, my Lord. It is in this human form that I have the privilege. परे अभाग्य मानुष तन पावा सुर दुर्लभ सब ग्रंथ न गावा साधन धाम मोक्ष कर द्वारा पाई न जई परलोक द्वारा. That is through this human form I have this sadhana dhamma moksha kara dwara. I have the opportunity to really become one with you. So thank you for this life. Don't ever, God, I don't know why I have this day. Don't ever say you have a bad day. Because if God was to say, you want me to take tomorrow away from you, what would you do? Since it was bad, then I wouldn't give you any more. There's this man, this mouse, that got up one morning and says, wow, I feel so good. I could eat a lion. Immediately a lion came in front of him. He says, when I get up in the morning, I can really talk nonsense. See, many of us talk nonsense when we talk to God. And we fail to realize that what God has given is only God can give. And this breath of life is a gift from Him. No one else can give that. So, in understanding this, what maintains this physical and the mental state, the physical requires the oxygen, the mental requires the oxygen, but in order for us to stay mentally stabilized, prayer, meditation, pratna, contemplation, bringing our minds to immerse into the glories of God, avoiding demanding from God, always being thankful to God, always showing appreciation and gratitude to God. These things helps us to stay mentally healthy. So now we have got our physical and our mental health, and we have identified the spiritual health. So how do we maintain our spiritual health? Since prayers helps us to maintain our mental, how do we maintain our spiritual health? By the way, does anybody ever think that they have to do something about maintaining the spiritual health first place? We all think about, what do I do to maintain the physical health? What do I do to maintain my sanity? But when do we stop to say, oh, I got to do something about maintaining my spiritual health? The question is that you could go to a doctor who can tell you what your physical health condition is. You can go to a doctor, another kind of doctor, a shrink maybe, who will tell you what your mental condition is. Who do you go to tell you what your spiritual condition is? What's the analysis? Yes, Sanju? Somebody who knows about spirituality. Give her a big hand, please. So when and where do we take the time to do this? This says, so I know I go for a medical checkup regularly. I should anyway. In Canada, you're allowed to go for 2 a year, right? One a year. But it's still paid for by OHIP. How many people had your medical checkup last year? Put your hands up, please. High up in the air, please. That means half of you didn't use your OHIP money then. And I guess you all have good reasons why you didn't take it last year, right? Because you'll take 2 this year, right? It doesn't work that way. It's 1 a year. So we go to the doctor, we get the medical checkup, and then we go, and the doctor said, your cholesterol is low, your blood sugar is high, your tension, your pressure is very irregular. Why is that? Oh, doc, this, and then the word comes out, stress. Okay, so then we have to get some mental advice. And then he prescribes some little kind of calming medication for you and tell you to go on a vacation and don't worry so much. And so he's giving you guidance. But we go regularly for these things. When do we go for this spiritual checkup?
Continuously.
That's a natural answer. Give it a big hand, please. Sanjoji is right. We only go for the spiritual checkup when we are in big trouble. Most of us go to doctors that way too. Only when we are really sick, then we go. We don't go for regular checkups. Some of us, the doctors prescribe what we are supposed to use and we don't use it also. So then we don't really take the advice given to us. Only when things are going very bad, then we says, God, where are you? Now, please, now. The spiritual checkup must be more important than the physical and the mental. Because you see, when we are spiritually energized, when we are spiritually well endowed, it becomes very easy for us to maintain a healthy mental state. And when we have a healthy mental state, we will be physically well endowed. It is because of a poor mental state and a poor spiritual state that we suffer physically. Because we can do all we want to the body, but it doesn't change the mental state. And the world we live in is focused on the body. All of the programs to lose weight is all about what we can do to change the body, the metabolic and anabolic process to reduce that so your body wouldn't get a little bit overweight. But no program in that process other than the meditation and yoga programs that tells you how you have to stabilize the mind and stabilize the physical, the mental and spiritual state, and in so doing, the physical state will fall into place. The physical state will fall into place. So I know our young Pandit goes to the gym. Pandit Sunil goes to the gym. Give him a big hand, please. Now, I asked him why is he going. He says, Panditji, I want to stay healthy. But I know that, Shah Rukh Khan and Hrithik Roshan also go to the gym. Right? But he's not going for that reason. He's going because he understands that he needs to burn calories up and exercise and stay fit. But mentally, he's very stable and spiritually, he's always engaged in worship. So they complement each other. Right? But then there are those of us who say, look, I'm getting overweight and I have to lose 10 pounds. And I go and I sign up for some program and it makes me lose the 10 pounds. And when I lose the 10 pounds, I say to my friends, look how good I look. And then after that, I'm up the hill again. Gain my 10 pounds back. Because mentally or spiritually, I was not in tune to what I'm talking about. Prem Sul Sitapati Ramachandra Bhagavan ki. Sant Goswami Tulsidas tells us that in the world we live in, as the young Pandit said, that it doesn't matter what we have done in the past. It is what we are about to do or what we will do that will make a difference for the future and for the betterment or on the development of our existence. He tells us,
माया कित तोष गुण बिनु हरि भजन जाई भजई राम तजी काम तब अस भी तारी मन माई सियावर रामचंद्र की जय।
हरि की माया द्वारा किए गए दोष और गुण श्री हरि का भजन बिना दूर नहीं होते हैं. He says, without Hari ka bhajan, without prayers to God, the good and bad in our lives cannot be removed. Now, whenever we say that we pray to God to remove the good and bad, so if we remove good and bad, what will we be left with? The point has been made that we should not live in the world focusing on good and bad. Good and bad. It's either we are in one box or the other box. Bhagavan says you don't have to be in either of these boxes. It says if you are constantly tilting in either direction, then you have no balance. The balance is I am not good nor bad. I am a devotee. I am devout. And whatever I do is not to be good, nor to be bad. Many of us spend our lives trying to be good. Most of the time to impress people that we are good. You see, if you're good, you're good. You don't have to prove to anybody you're good. And if you're bad, it will stand out that you're bad. If you're a good musician, you don't have to go and advertise to anybody you're a good musician. You just play music and it'll be good. So the idea is not to be good, not to be bad. The idea is to be devout. This bhakti, that Sri Hari ke bhajan bina dur nahi hote hai. It says, these blessings of the divine though comes to us through ongoing activity, not once in a while devotion. You know, at one time I mentioned that we have people who are submarine devotees. That is, they submerge, they're on the surface, and they get lots of oxygen. And then after that, they dive down deep into the darkness of the world, and until they're out of oxygen again, they come up. That is when things are really bad. God, where are you? Or when things are not, we're just fine, I'm okay. We must always be enjoying the glories of God at the upper surface of life. And as such, we will never find darkness in any other dimensions of life. Prem so Sitapati Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. Our message today is very simple, that we must recognize the three layers of our lives: the physiological, the psychological, and the spiritual. I said the physical health, the mental health, and the spiritual. Physiological, psychological, and spiritual. All three must be always, we must be aware of. But the first, the physiological benefits if the last two. If the spiritual and psychological are well in tune, the physical takes care of itself. But if we focus on the physical only, the psychological and the spiritual will suffer. If we focus only on the psychological, then sometimes we are totally lost. When we go into a state of constant self-analysis. No. So it must be, start from the spiritual, satisfy the psychological, and the physical will take care of itself. Prem Swachitapri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. Let me take this opportunity to thank all of you for being here today. And your presence certainly makes a difference in the mandir. Now we know that the weather has been cold for the last couple of weeks, but it is actually very nice today. It's not that cold. Well, I have to say, compared to 2 weeks ago, it's relevantly warm. Isn't that true? But I realized one thing, that in the West End, yesterday in Oakville, I had to shovel my driveway. I mean, I didn't shovel it. I have one of those thing, but I did have to clear. And I went to the East End, and there's no snow on the ground. So what's this? The blessing's heavy over this side. And the wind was blowing so heavy over here. And I went over there, no wind blowing, calm. So we are getting the cherished blessings of Bhagavan with nice fluffy snow. And we'll have some more of that. But people have braved this weather under all conditions and gone to their place of worship. I know there has not been a drop in the Hindu congregation, not to my knowledge. I know in Ram Mandir the congregation is doing very well. We want to thank you for coming out and especially taking the time. We have so many seniors. We are now having to add another layer of chairs at the front. Did you all notice that? Let's give our seniors a big hand, please. That's not a problem. I want you all to know that the chairs, the nice burgundy chairs that are there, when we started the mandir, we asked the seniors and family members to donate one chair because we don't want them to sit on these plastic chairs. So we're going to ask for you to donate a chair for a senior. Okay? Now, cost of these chairs are roughly $200, these type of chairs. So, donate a chair so we can have one more row of chairs for the senior. And by the way, I'll be joining that league very soon, so somebody donate one for me also, right? We need approximately, I would say, about 25 more chairs. And then we'll have one complete row, but after that, we're not going to go anymore. We'll have to let the seniors exercise, take yoga classes so they can sit on the ground. But I think that would be good. So look into your financial budgeting plan and see if you have room for additional expenditure of one chair for a senior. It will make a tremendous difference. By the way, we are not going to put your name on the chair. We don't want anybody to sit on you, right? So the chair will be nameless, and we look forward to your participation. Today, we want to thank Pratin and Jaimini Shah. Promote and to execute our Ram Leela program that we are launching that will happen during the first Navrat. During the first Navrat, which is the prelude to the birth of Prabhu Ram, we will be presenting live performances every night on some aspect of the Ramcharitmanas. We have many of the players, young people who will be doing the part, but we are looking for grown-ups. How many of you have ever participated in some kind of a theater form in your life at any time? Put your hands. So put your hands high up in the air, please. 1, 2, 3. Hold your hands up. Somebody get a camera so I can know their faces, okay? Because after that they wouldn't put their hands up again. Put your hands up again, please. You are now officially called to action. Anil, we need all of you to give your name to Anil ji. Anil, put your hands up, please. Today, you will be helping us to promote and to make the event happen. How many of you who have never participated in such a thing, since there's lots of you, would like to participate in something like this? Put your hands up, please. Don't everybody put your hands up at the same time now. I have one little child over there and one mature individual or 2 people. Nobody's got no zest to get engaged in something meaningful. Maybe you all didn't understand what I said. We want you to get involved into getting your mind and intellect and your body engaged in presenting the stories of the glory of Prabhu Ram. Does that sell it better? Is that a better commercial? Anybody else wants to help with this? Very good. Put your hands up, please. Good. That's another young lady there. We are looking for some good-looking people to participate in something very sexy. Anybody interested? In your mind you are, but you don't put your hands up. We'll try to make the Ram Leela very sexy. So then many people might be wanting to get involved. I'm sorry, but sometimes in reality, that is the reality. What is very sexy gets a lot of attention. What is not so sexy or cool, boring stuff, right? Ram Leela, we are hoping that we will put it together, and then once we have put it together, we will assimilate it. It will become a full program, that we will take it on tour. We have promised them 2 mandirs, one in Pittsburgh and one in Ohio, Arvindaji, Pittsburgh and Ohio, that we will take a Ram Leela troupe to tour and to present in their mandirs in the United States. So this troupe will be going on tour, and some of these young people have already committed to go on a 2-week sabbatical. What that means is 2 weeks of work, enjoying work, of sharing the spirit of Hinduism with others, teaching them the way of life of Hinduism, and helping them to get a better understanding of Hinduism, and also teach the art forms. A group of about, I would say, 25 to 30 people will be traveling with me to the Caribbean, to 2 countries, Guyana and Trinidad, and for approximately 2 weeks, they'll be visiting different mandirs, interacting with young people of that country, sharing with them what they have learned about Hinduism, and learning from them what those people have in simplicity, and what they lack in the other luxuries of life. By the way, the people in the Caribbean live in more luxury than we live here, so I shouldn't say that. But there are those who live in the villages. We like to go to the small villages and present Hinduism in the way we know it here today. So if you have a desire to go, if you have never been to these countries, it will be a wonderful experience. Those of you who have roots there, it will be good to take your children back. And of course, it is a big planning program. It will be sometime between after the first week of July to the end of July, somewhere between that time span. So if you're interested in these also, please let us know. Prem Susitapati Ramachandra Bhagavana ki. Those of you who brought prasad, please come forward, we shall offer bhog. सभी लोग बोलो कृष्णा अर्पणम. We like to invite all of our seniors to stand first. Those people who are seated on the chairs, who might be ill, otherwise to come first, Aarti. And then everyone else to please rise. All of the Pandits, please position yourself appropriately to help them, please.
जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे वे पल पावे दुख दिन से मन का स्वामी दुख दिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति घर आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहो मेरी सखी स्वामी शरण गहु मेरी सखी तुम बिना आर न दूजा प्रभु बिना आर न दूजा आस करो मेरी सखी ओम जय जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं मूरत कलकामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो बरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किस विध मिलो दया में किस विध मिलो दया में तुमको देखुमति ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे दीन बंधु दुख हर